Alright, fellow hunters, well, time for the final episode review of the day, which is Croatoan. Sam has a vision of Dean killing a man tied to a chair, leading them to River Gorge, Oregon, where Sam recalls the story of the Roanoke colony when he stumbles across the word Croatoan carved into a street-side telephone power pole. He explains it to Dean, who remembers Schoolhouse Rock, not school itself. They discover that all lines of communication, radio, phone, cell signal, have been cut off from the town. Sam and Dean seek out the man in Sam's vision, whose family tells the boys that he's on a fishing trip. When the brother's story and the father's story does line up, Sam and Dean know something is wrong. They peer through a window and see the man's mother tied to a chair. The brother willingly lets the father cut his arm and lets the blood drip down to scrape on the woman's arm. Sam and Dean kick the door down and shoot the father. The boys escape through a window. Sam and Dean take the woman to the medical center. The townspeople appear to be controlled by some kind of demonic virus. When Dean attempts to leave via road, he discovers a roadblock made up of infected locals who fire upon him. Sam and Dean hole up at the local medical center with a local doctor, a nurse, and Sarge, an ex-Marine. The doctor studies the blood of an infected person, noting that there appears to be traces of sulfur in the blood, leading Sam to further suspect demonic intervention. The demon virus is transmitted via exchanging blood, but the sulfur does not manifest in the blood until 4 hours after infection. Sam speculates could be related to a theory in John's journal, that Croatoan is the name of a demon associated with plague and pestilence, and calls what's going on demonic germ warfare. Dwayne Tanner, the man Sam saw in his vision whose family Sam and Dean first encountered exhibiting signs of infection, turns up at the medical center, claiming to have been out of town fishing and just returned. The medical center occupants suspect he might be infected, and they restrain him by tying him to a chair. Recognizing the scene from his vision, Sam tries to convince Dean not to kill Dwayne, as they don't know yet whether he's infected with the demon virus or not. Dean locks Sam in a room to stop him from preventing the killing, but Dean is unable to follow through anyway. Sam and Dean use medical supplies to build explosives, building ours will help them escape the town, as the infected townspeople are milling about outside. The nurse at the medical center attacks Sam, jailbreak cutting her hand in his chest to exchange blood obsessively infecting him with the demon virus. Dean kills the nurse. Believing Sam to be infected, the others want to kill Sam, but Dean refuses to allow it. Sam offers to do it himself, and again Dean refuses. Sarge pulls his gun to kill Sam, but is only stopped by Dean's threat of, "You make a move on him, he'll be dead before he hit the ground." The remaining people in the medical center scare Sam's infected, so Dean offers to let him leave in the Impala. While he elects to stay with Sam, it seems to be on the cusp of sharing some innermost thought, when the doctor returns with the news that the rest of the townsfolk have disappeared. 5 hours later, the doctor announces that there is no trace of the demon virus in Sam's blood either, therefore he wasn't infected. This leaves both Sam and Dean uneasy. The team in the medical center go their separate ways, Dwayne riding in Sarge's truck. Dwayne asks Sarge to pull over because he has to make a call, and draws out a goblet and knife. Slitting Sarge's throat, Dwayne catches the blood in his goblet. When he swirls, it starts whirlpooling, and Dwayne speaks to it as if he's communicating with someone. Then we'll hear one side of it saying, "I don't think any more tests will be necessary. The Winchester boy. Definitely immune as expected." Dwayne's eyes turn black, indicating that he has been possessed the entire time. Sam and Dean end up on the shore of a river, drinking beer and talking. Dean is on the cusp of revealing the big secret John told him at my time of dying when the episode ends. Dun dun dun. So let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. The Croatoan virus will not be mentioned again until the Season 5 episode at the end. This is the second episode to involve Sam's immunity, the first Simon said. This episode introduces the fact that Sam is immune to a demonic virus. Azazel seemed to have released this virus as a test, possibly to test Sam's body as a reference to what's to come in Season 5. And now let's look at some trivia surrounding this episode. Once again, the CW's official summary for this episode does not cite actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan as a guest star. Dr. Lee tells the brothers that the next town over Sidewinder, a reference to a town the same name, is used in The Shining where the Overlook Hotel is located. Dean introduces the brothers as U.S. Marshals, using the names Billy Gibbs and Frank Beard. They are members of the band ZZ Top. Leonard Gerard Funk, who played Jake, and Diego Kladenhoff, who played Dwayne, also played brothers in the Smallville Season 4 episode Crypto. The props department of the show often use the number plates of cars to add to the story. When Dean tries to leave town, he comes across a car with license plates starting WTF, as in what the fudge, let's just say that. Jared Padalecki said many times in interviews and at conventions, the filming the scene where Sam tells Dean to leave him was especially hard. For some reason, Padalecki got very emotional and had to make an effort to dial it back because the emotion didn't serve the scene. Sarge tells Dean, "My brother, Mr. Rogers." Dean replied, You got a neighbor named Mr. Rogers?" He is referring to the beloved creator of and host of the long-range children's television show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It was never revealed what happened to the disappeared townspeople afterwards. That is kind of strange, huh? So now finally, let's take a look at some errors. When Dean goes into the room to shoot Dwayne in the vision scene, he pulls the magazine from his gun. It has no ammunition in it. He fires the gun after cycling the action to load it, which will not be possible without ammunition. Mark Vargo is most referred to as Sarge in this episode, despite Mark being a Marine, and Sarge is a term that Marines do not use. He is also called Master Sergeant by Dean, even though his tattoo does not discern the rank of Master Sergeant whatsoever. Huh. So overall, I think this episode is pretty darn good, and I like the fact that Sam is immune to the whole demonic virus thing, and that does kind of set up what's going to happen in future episodes and stuff like that. So, yeah. So overall, I give Croatoan 4 Impalas out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in tomorrow as we take a look at the next episode, Hunted. So, until then, carry on, my wayward sons and daughters.